Now, before we actually get started on this class overview, I want to speak to the fact that Elemental Shaman was my first alt. I made it Mr. Pandaria, after playing Mage forever, and Elemental Shaman, the playstyle, was just really cool to me because I could have the totems, I could switch into Ghost Wolf, I would actually have self-heals, which I never had on Mage, and then also the Lava Surge, Flame Shock, efficiency procs, all that kind of stuff, like keeping multiple targets dotted, was really cool to me, and I definitely enjoyed that style of gameplay. Now, I want to kind of go over a few different things for Elemental Shaman and show you what has changed in the class, and that is going to start with the resource. So if you've watched my video over Shadow Priest, my class overview over Shadow Priest, and my class overview over Moonkin, it works similar to both of those, especially Moonkin. It's pretty much the same as Moonkin. It's a bar that goes from 0 to 100 called Maelstrom, and you can accumulate this by using Lava Burst or Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, and I think that's it. Yeah, and you can spend it on stuff like Earth Shock, which is your main one, Earthquake Totem, which is like an AoE knockdown chance type thing, and then also Frost Shock and Flame Shock. In my previous Elemental Shaman videos back in the alpha, I explained that I don't think having Maelstrom in the rotation for Frost Shock and Flame Shock is good, but I think that that's more of a PvE mechanic as opposed to PvP, so there's really nothing to say about that. It's just that spending your Maelstrom on those two things is really unnecessary and takes away from getting that big burst you want from Earthshock, okay? Now, with all that being said, that's how the resource works, okay? Let's talk about damage. The damage for Elemental Shamans is actually pretty decent. Like, you can do damage. The only complaint is that you have to play with Control of Lava, because without Control of Lava, you pretty much don't do anything. Like, you tickle the enemy, as opposed to back in Wrath of the Lich King, where if you saw an Elemental Shaman throwing a Lava Burst at you, you would like throw your computer in the air because you knew that your character was going to be dead right as you saw that cast finish. But now, without Control of Lava, if a Lava Burst were to hit you in the face, you would like laugh, like what I just did. Yeah, it would be a joke. Whereas right now you have to play with Control of Lava, and the damage is going to look something like this. You hit him with a Lava Burst after Flame Shocking, and you hit him for like 200,000. And for those who don't know what Control of Lava actually does, I didn't even explain it, but it increases your damage for Lava Burst by 150%, but it takes away Lava Surge procs, so you can't get an instant cast Lava Burst with this PvP talent. It takes away that passive proc thing immediately. Now, the main problem with this is that there are multiple talents in the elemental tree that cater towards getting Lava Surge procs, but you cannot play without Control of Lava because your damage doesn't do anything. Like, you don't do any damage without Control of Lava. So if you have to give your Lava Surge procs away, then what would be the point of taking Path of Flame that pretty much makes it so you spread more Flame Shocks to enemies and get more Lava Surge procs? Or there's the Elemental Fusion talent that makes it so Flame Shock has a 5% increased chance to trigger Lava Surge. Like, that is not a talent. Like, you can't take that whenever you take Control of Lava because it just doesn't do anything. And I think that speaks to this class isn't finished, or we didn't quite think that part of the thing through, or it's there for PvE. So one of those three choices. And I think that kind of takes away from Elemental Shaman and PvP as opposed to playing Moonkin and Shadow Priest, which are the other two hybrids in the game. Now I want to talk about CC. I think CC is something that Elemental Shamans have gotten major improvements with, and that is because of this talent tree. Lightning Surge Totem, Earth Grab Totem, which these two are, well, this one's different. So Cap Totem with a glyph in Mr. Pandaria and in Warlords of Draenor, it would make it so the Cap Totem would explode or activate faster at 2 seconds. That's just like normal now. It doesn't activate after 5 seconds anymore, it activates after 2 seconds, which is good. Okay, so that's like normal, that's just the talent. But there's this new one called Voodoo Totem, and Voodoo Totem is a talent that a totem you can place down anywhere, and it actually just hexes an AoE 8-yard sphere, and hexes everyone in the sphere instantly, which is really cool. It replaces Hex too, so you don't have a Hex anymore, but you have this Voodoo Totem, and this makes it so it's like a Presence of Mind polymorph, which is really cool. You know, it really adds to the CC value of an Elemental Shaman. And you also have something that's a PvP talent called Lightning Lasso, and Lightning Lasso is a completely new ability altogether and a completely new mechanic in the game. It's actually a 6-second channeled stun that does damage to something, and it is a 30-second cooldown. So I can sit here and actually Lightning Lasso this guy, and I'm channeling for 6 seconds and stunning this guy, and you can't trinket that. Because if you trinket that, it's like Fist of Fury, whereas if you trinket Fist of Fury in previous expansions, you just get stunned again. I think that's not the case anymore, but when you Lightning Lasso somebody, you know, the trade-off is that you can be interrupted, but it also, like, assuredly stuns someone. So if you get interrupted by, like, a mage, you can actually cast Lightning Lasso on his healer after that, and he won't have anything to interrupt you, which is really cool. You know, I think that the CC has definitely improved for LE Shamans. We have a lot more to work with. The main problem that I want to get to is the fact that the defensive cooldowns are like super lackluster as Elemental Shamans. All you have is the Astral Shift, and Astral Shift replaces Shamanistic Rage. What Astral Shift does is it means you take 40% less damage for 8 seconds on a 1.5 minute cooldown. It's like a little bit stronger of a bark skin with a longer cooldown, and this is the weak point of Elemental Shamans. The defensive cooldowns, like, since that's all you have, whereas, like, if you're a Moonkin, like, you have Guardian Affinity, you have Restoration Affinity, you have better self-heals than an Elemental Shaman does, and you can switch into Bear form, you have Displacer Beast, which is better than Gust of Wind for mobility because it's instant, it's like a blink, and it gives you a dash. You have the regular dash, which gives you more mobility, which can arguably be a defensive cooldown, and I just think that and then you have, like, Bear form with Guardian Affinity, where you can get into, like, that Iron Fur type thing mechanic going on. While the damage is cool for Elemental Shamans, and while the CC is good for Elemental Shamans, I just don't know exactly what the point of playing an Elemental Shaman is if you cannot play with Lava Surge procs. It's just like, it's like playing a mage with less mobility and a healing surge. Like, that's really what Elemental Shamans feel like, and since they don't have any defensive cooldowns, it's impossible to live versus melee cleaves, and I think that is really what makes an Elemental Shaman the weakest of the 3 hybrids available in World of Warcraft Legion. I really do wish that Elemental Shaman was stronger. I just think that their defensive cooldowns need to be better, or their totems need to be reworked in a place where the totems actually have health. Like, every totem just has like 100,000 health, and it requires a player to actually sit there and attack the totem to make it go down. But I feel like this totem with a 10 health mechanic is really kind of dated, because back in previous expansions you would have like 3 to 4 totems down at a time, whereas now you have 2 totems in total. So you just have Sky Fury Totem and Voodoo Totem, and that's really it. Like, you can just destroy that, right? And, like, this Sky Fury Totem, like, these two have 30,000 health, but I think it needs more for it to really be a working talent that actually requires, sorry, that was my Dropbox, that actually requires you to do anything. That's not, like, super crazy. Like, I could just auto attack that as a Demon Hunter and it would fall over. But, you know, overall, the Elemental Shaman is a cool class. It's a cool design. I just think it's been morphed so much over the alpha and beta in a negative way. I just feel like it hasn't quite reached the potential that it could, and I would really love to see that. But when there's clunky mechanics in the game, like Fire Elemental and Earth Elemental, which you can't control, and you have to take this talent in order to control them, and they don't even work half the time, and Earth Elemental only lasts for 15 seconds, and then there's the Storm Elemental you get from casting your artifact thing, and this works like Siphene, so it doesn't hit the right target most of the time, which is really, really frustrating. But, you know, overall, like, Elemental Shamans, like, they're fun, but I just think that it didn't quite stay true to what they were trying to do in the very beginning of the development phase, and you can see that by all of the morphs and changes throughout the beta and the alpha. To a point where Elemental Shamans just aren't quite what they could be compared to Boomkins and compared to Shadow Priests in PvP. So, you know, regardless, guys, I hopefully got my opinion out there. Hopefully you guys don't see this as like a really negative opinion, but I just want to be honest with you and bring as much changes as I can, because I know that you guys are going to invest a lot of time into the game. And if you invest into LE Shamans, I want you to have a realistic expectation of what they're actually looking like in the game, right? So I'll bring more changes to you guys as this develops. If there are major changes to Ellie Shaman, I'll be sure to make a video about it. But regardless, we're going to jump into some arenas for you guys to see firsthand what it's like in PvP. I'm able to get wins. It's just not as strong as Moonkin or Shadow Priest in 3s.
me sounds to win when I feel that I'm making it worse. I try to find out just what's serving you.
I hope you did enjoy those arenas, guys. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up if you liked the video overall, and also leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I have my top 5 favorite Legion classes down below in the description on my website. It's there for you guys for free, no money required, and also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video enough to want to watch more. And I will see you all in the next one. Cartoons out.
Time goes by, and soon you grow. Don't be sad, your headphones, girl. I hope that I can do this right.